Psalms 82 verses 3 and 4 says, "Give justice to the poor and the orphan. Uphold the rights of the oppressed and the destitute. Rescue the poor and the helpless. Deliver them from the grasp of evil people." God wants us to defend and fight for these children so that they are able to live out their God-given destiny and live it out in freedom. Let me share with you one of our rescue stories. A house mom in Thailand in one of our undisclosed locations, our rescue homes, received an urgent phone call from a shop owner who said that a 15-year-old girl ran in their shop looking for help and looking for work. This young girl said that she and a friend of hers had came into that town, into the city looking for work when they were tricked. They were told that they had factory jobs, but when they got there, they were forced to have sex with men. These young girls said that their ID was taken from them, their cell phones were taken, and if they didn't do what they were told, they were beaten. These kids were literally enslaved. The shop owner brought this young girl to our safe home, and the house mom said that this girl was still very frantic and upset, but eventually she spoke up and said that her friend was still in that brothel. Well, Destiny Rescue could not stand back and do nothing. We contacted two of our agents in Bangkok, and they flew into the area and rented some cars, and with very vague information, they went looking for this young girl. Well, by the gracious hand of God, they were able to find this brothel. And when they went in, the first thing that they noticed was that there was like many young girls working in there. And there was one young girl that came up and to welcome them into the brothel. And one of the agents knew that this was a young girl that they was looking for. Well, the other agent was able to get undercover video of the mama san. This is the lady that runs the brothel. He was able to record video that was able to be very instrumental later on in bringing criminal charges against her. Well, they left and came back the next day to take these young girls out to lunch when the mama san would not allow them to leave unless some older women went out with them. Well, they went to lunch, but they couldn't even go to the restroom by themselves. The older women would go with them with one hand on their shoulder, not allowing them to be alone. Well, our agents wrote up their reports, and they gave these reports to the anti-trafficking police, and a successful raid was done. Matter of fact, several arrests was made. Several police officers lost their jobs. Why? Because the mama san, her husband was a police officer. He and two other cops that was in that region was turning a blind eye to these children being bought and sold in the sex trade. As a direct result of the work of Destiny Rescue, 6 young girls and 4 older young women was rescued and was set free. This story actually made Thailand national news. Well, after we rescue these children, we take them back to one of our safe homes, and this is where miracles happen. This is where the restoration begins. Once we take them back to our safe homes, all of their daily needs are met: food, clothing, shelter. They get Christian-based counseling. We eventually pay for all of their education. We help them learn a skill or trade so that when they are reintegrated back in society, they can stand on their own 2 feet. Recently, we heard from a young lady that went through our program, and she was reintegrated back in society. Her name is Sri Nai. Let me tell you Sri Nai's story. Sri Nai lived in a village in Cambodia, and she was tricked by a neighbor, a man in her village. He took advantage of her. And Sri Nai was so overwhelmed from this experience that she felt like she couldn't go back to her family because she thought that she would bring shame to her family. Well, this man told her to run away, and he bought her a bus ticket to an unfamiliar city. Well, he also told her when she got there to go to a guest house that he suggested that she go to. Well, unfortunately, she took his advice, and when she got there, that guest house, they took advantage of her also. They exploited her. Sri Nai was in a hopeless situation. Somehow, her grandmother found out where she was and tracked her down and contacted her and convinced her to come back home. Well, Srinai wouldn't come back on a permanent basis because she just felt like she just brought so much shame to her family. But her grandmother was able to get her to come home just for a visit. And while she was there, her grandmother convinced her to testify against this man that had harmed her. Well, little did they know that this would end up being one of Cambodia's biggest pedophiles trials, because 12 other young girls came and testified against this man. Well, while the court case was going on, they brought Srinai to Destiny Rescue for protection. And she went through our restoration program and was successfully reintegrated back in society. She actually graduated from our sewing program. And now we have 2 years later, Srinai is giving us an incredible update on where she is today. She said that after she got the job at the garment factory, she said that she began to quickly excel. And she said today she overlooked 4 groups of managers, a staff of over 200 people. She said that she got married to a good man that protects her. They just had last year their first child, which was a young boy. And she said that now they are building their first home. She said it's not too big, it's not too small, it's just the right size. You know, Srinai said she wanted to thank Destiny Rescue for saving her life. And, you know, in her own words, she said, "Thank you for helping me to know a bestest God, Jesus." There are so many other young girls just like Srinai. Wouldn't you like to be a part of help saving and rescuing and restoring other young girls just like Srinai? Well, my heart's desire is that, you know, you would be sensitive to what the Holy Spirit is saying